The big talk is with Lagos State governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Babajide Sanwoolu. Welcome to a special edition of The Platform. My guest today is none other than Babajide Sanwoolu, the governorship candidate for APC. Welcome to this show, sir.
Thank you very much to the platform.
To the platform. Well, my first question is, why do you want to be governor of Lagos State?
Maybe I should throw it back. Why the platform?
The platform is the extraordinary platform for ventilating political and cultural viewpoints.
For engaging all sorts.
Yes.
Why do I want to be the governor of Lagos State? I believe all Lagosians have the right for aspiration. All Nigerians at the right age have, and if they believe they have what it takes, constitutionally everybody has a right to aspire. The journey as into why I want to become governor, we can take it back 17 years ago when I had the unique opportunity of being appointed a special advisor, right, when I left the bank then. And from then, interest in public service has actually come to fore in my life, and has become a time in which I donated very significant and very important part of my life to public service, right? And I have, over those periods, over 16 years now, gathered so much experience that I now became a lot more passionate about service, about issues that concerns people, how we can take people out of poverty, how we can ensure, that we develop, all of the strengths that we have as a state into a level in which we take a positive step in the Committee of Nations or in the Committee of State, as the case may be. So it's been something that I have a conversation with my family. It's been something that I converse with my friends. I see myself defending both government issues, government policies, in and out of government, right? And so people have also thrown these things that, okay, so if you have this, why don't you just go and, and I said, no, I mean, I prefer being an appointee. I don't know if I want to, but over time, with age and with the passion that you've been growing over this period, it comes to a time when, even the not so young are right behind you now. If you don't take those opportunities when it presents itself, you probably just remain in your life as a complainer rather than a doer, right? And so those are some of the things that I've seen. Is the experience, is the love that I have for my people, is the passion, and is the energy that I think I have right now that gives me the level of confidence that I can actually run the state.
In one of Shakespeare's plays, there was one character who used the expression, says, some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them. What would you say about this opportunity? Would you say that it was thrust upon you, given the fact that in the APC governorship sweepstakes, many people expected that the incumbent governor was supposed to go for second term, but some matters arose and it turned out that you were picked, and it was not that you just came out and said, okay, I want to run. It was like, okay, people said, okay, the party said you were going to take it. It is a sense that this came suddenly to you.
Well, I mean, you are right with the third allusion that, in Shakespeare, people have trust, greatness, trust upon you. Yeah. It also could be that people have been watching me. They've been watching the kind of person that I've grown up to be, the kind of responsibilities that I've had to take and how I've been able to disperse those responsibilities. It could be that people have also been watching my journey, right, in life and see how I've related with people, what had been, how I've managed human and capital resources that have come to my disposal, that has come to me, right? It could also be my general frame of mind, my passion for Lagos. It could be a bit of everything, that has culminated into this. But more importantly, I also believe that God has a hand in all of the things that happens to man. I'm a very deeply spiritual person, right? And I converse a lot, with faith to guide one's thought, right? In life, sometimes it's not all of the things that you wish for, right, comes to future for various reasons, you know, just so that God is protecting you from other wrong devices. So I have actually gotten to that stage where I believe even internally I've gotten a closure to believe that this is what I should be doing at this point in time. So we could call it, right, the very millions of APC members that have bestowed this trust in me, right? You could call it the leadership of the party that also have watched me and believe that at this point in time, I can actually carry the flag of the party, you know, to high levels. And I also believe that God also, fortuitously, also have a belief in the sense that I actually can also listen to His word and do the right things for our people. So I think it's a combination of all of this that is making me sit in this position. And I feel very humbled. To be honest with you, it's such an exalted and a very humbling position, right? And it demands a lot of humility. It demands a lot of respect, and it demands a lot of energy, you know. And I believe that I have psychologically prepared myself over the time for this, and I imagine that I'm going to do a damn good job of it if I'm the one even saying it.
What is it about you that you think will be different from, say, a Tinubu, a Fashola, an Ambode, for instance? Every individual brings something of his own essence into governance.
Thank you.
What is it that Sanwoolu wants to bring in that they say this is
it will be. I'm a lover of people. I'm a people person. So the growth and aspiration of the development of human beings is critical to me. I like to see that we all talk it, that our greatest asset are people, but I action it. I put it to test, and I develop and redevelop people. That's one. Secondly, I've also, over those years, had the unique opportunity of having worked extensively in the public sector and also in the private sector. I just didn't drop, right? So I believe the combination of my expertise will bring some freshness to governance, will bring some freshness to how both the private sector and the public sector will react and reflect in government, right? And I've said so before that I will go to run what I honestly term an inclusive government, where access will be on denial to people, right? And I will work with, you know, the ability to listen to all and sundry, right, without wasting my time, right? But I will also be very critical about decision making. Time is of essence, right? I will be very nimble. I will be fast and audacious in decision making. You know, I mean, you know, they say that leadership, they fail sometimes, not because they take wrong decisions, but because they take no decisions at all. I will take decisions. I'll take tough and hard decisions, but I'll be decisions that are thought through, that I believe will do the greatest good for the greatest number, that will improve the quality of life of our people, and will take our states, you know, to the heights that we've never seen before.
When we talk about, in Lagos, we always talk about a master plan, and master plan, and master plan. And one of the problems that has been associated with the incumbent governor is that they probably derail from the master plan. You have come up with your own program. It's called Theme,
yeah,
and so on. How does that integrate into the master plan?
Well, I mean, there are nice ways, there are nice phrases that have been used, you know. I know politics is always something that is very interesting. You know, it depends on which side you are sitting. You know, I've had the opportunity of working with 2 governors, in fact, with the current one, making 3 governors in all. And we have developed, with all the 3 governors, yes, you know. And we have developed blueprints at different times, you know. And blueprints, they are never static. They're a moving document, right? So you've seen us develop LASIT documents. You've seen us develop, when we were working with the MTEF documentation, that rolls, you know, budgetary provisions and plans and programs of government into a 3 to a 5 year plan, right? You know, from a short term to a medium term to a long term, such that you can begin to foresee what are your plans for the next 2-3 years. It can also aid budgetary processes and see that when you start projects, you also complete them. Those are some of the bedrock, those are the foundations that has been laid. So when you talk of a master plan, they're just documents that look at what sector of the economy you're meant to be looking at various times, right? And so what we've designed is we've looked at all of the various documents that have been prepared. The embedded document, you know, I was Commissioner for Economic Planning at some point. So we used to do what we call an Ethnicity Summit, which was a yearly summit where we engage the private sector. We look at all of the places where we are, even as government, and we come up with blueprints that can help us. We've done LACIT document before. We've prepared a lot of MTF, and MTFF document that people have used to also manage budgetary process. We've looked at all of that, and we've looked at also what the current government is doing. Is a bridge of all of that. I would believe that at this point in time, critical things that is important to Lagosians have been encapsulated in the project team that we have created, so that we're not just about a lot of things without doing anything, but we're a lot of things that we can count with our fingertips and we can be measured. We will not only be accountable, we'll be measurable, right? And we know that technology, for example, has bring about, where tracking and trapping can happen, even in government, right? People can actually monitor you systematically, and that's what we've put up this frame. So in some essence, I don't use those big master plan, but what we've done is we've taken bits and pieces of all of the economic document that has evolved in the last 19 years, right? And we've simulated it to what we call project theme, and we've said that this is what we believe will be critical, will be best for Lagosians at this point in time.
Well, one of the questions people have always asked when you have been talking about access is that, okay, you're going to run an inclusive government, but how do you distinguish between access and relevance within those people who want access? Because the sense is that there are a lot of party people who want access, and you can't give everybody access, or else you run a chaotic government. So how do you temporize and maintain a sort of balance?
Thank you. Yes. When we say access, it doesn't have to be me. I'm not going to be taking 35 courtesy calls a day or picking 600 phone calls. That's not the access. It's technology access. It's been so done very efficiently in other jurisdictions, right? We're going to give the citizens a platform to be able to access us. So access meaning that you have an idea, you have an observation, you have a critique, you have a query, you must have a place in which you post it. And we must give you ability to be able to get response. Response that it is work in progress, response that we've looked at the issue and we're dealing with it, response that we cannot deal with it now, we'll deal with it next year. That's the kind of access we're talking about. It's not that I want to go to every, event or every ceremony that is in town. That's not the kind of access. But it is in terms of people that have quality contribution, ideas, issues, observations, criticism that they want to pass on to government, right? And they don't know how or where to go about it. It's that kind of a tech platform that will be. Almost everybody has a phone these days, right? So that's the kind of platform that we'll be using. Almost everybody have access to internet. That's the kind of platform that we're talking about, and that's what is going to create the access and inclusiveness. Because we're going to be using, you're a communication expert, we're going to be using a two-way tool, right? So that communication does not only come to us, we get, relevant feedback to the person, right? Time-shortly, to be able to say to the person that we've listened to you, we cannot do this now, or we're in the process of doing it, or we have done it before. And these are the steps we need to. So that's the kind of access that we're talking about.
Now, people have asked the question. Tinubu had a female deputy governor. Fashola had a female deputy governor. Somebody had a female deputy governor. Why are you having a male deputy governor?
Well, just to also note the observation that Tinubu actually had a male deputy governor in his second term, and also towards the end of his first term. Yeah. So it's not all been.
Tinubu's one was accidental because there was a clash.
Well, but there was a subsequent re-election in which a deputy governor was a male, and they were jointly got the ticket. Yeah. But I think, Sam, I think it's a case of not being emotional about gender, but to be honest with you, a female can also actually be sitting here tomorrow and you'll be interviewing a female governorship candidate of our party in a time not too far from now. I think it's just a case of what are the options we have on the table, who does the best shoe fit right now, given all of these several jobs that we need to do, right? What skills do we need to put to complement both the governor and the deputy governor to ensure that we hold our hands and, you know, you people are also, when I say you people, with all due respect to your, you know, you always be the one that always criticize politicians and say that, they always bring people that, and they think that one person is stronger than the other or something. Okay, so now we have two strong people, let's go for it, right? But I mean, like I said, I honestly, I mean, would have a whole lot of engagement from my female colleagues, you know, on the entire cabinet, on our structure. Right, but I believe the party also believe rightly so that at this point in time, right, we need to put all our best foot forward, right? So it's purely just a case of competence at this point in time. And like I said, a woman at some point, I'm sure, will be sitting here to, you know, as a governorship candidate, you know, and rightly so, to govern the state.
One of your opponents, Jimmy Agbaje, has raked up an ethnic profile to the whole candidature, and saying that your party has often been seen as against our fellow citizens from the Southeast. And I'm sure you gave a response to him. And what's your take about this issue?
There's, you know, my brother, there's really no issue. You know, I think it's just someone or people that lack vision. They lack, you know, ideas into what the real job is. The real job, you know, for Lagosians is about what are the programs, what are the issues of discussion that you want to bring about, right? You've seen it. I'm a titled chief in Igbo land. You know, I don't know how
really?
to. Oh yes, just 2 weeks ago, I was given a big chieftaincy title by a combination of all the Azes in Lagos, over 73 of them. Eze Chukwu Meridi or something, they won.
Yeah,
you know, meaning
it's
that
always one.
Yes, I'm the first. Yes.
The first, yeah.
You know, meaning that it's God's chosen. You know, and it was a massive, elaborate ceremony at the national stadium. You know, so I had all my Igbo brothers and sisters, you know, say to me that they believe in me. They see the sincerity and the genuineness, you know, that I bring to the table. And I've had, and I still continue to have great brothers and sisters, great friends that are from the eastern part of the country, and they are major contributors of this economy. And you also have read that they said that at some point in time, and I said that, I mean, you know, so there is no sentiments around those. Those are just literally two talks to whip up unnecessary. Let's talk issues. Let's talk what are the things that require. You know, so let's look at it. So you go to the market and you buy, you know, a meat. Do you ask if it's an Igbo meat or a Yoruba meat or an Hausa meat? You just want to cook. Yes. You know, a meat, nobody. You know, when you're in the petrol station, you don't ask who is your petrol attendant. So there's no base in this 21st century. We're picking up sentiments as into
the Naira note doesn't say one belongs to one.
It doesn't even show who you collected the last 1,000 Naira note from. You know, so